It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
What's God? 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 These guys know sports. Yeah. These guys know sports. These guys know.
And welcome to Wise Guys. These guys know sports on this Monday, June the 29th, in the house with the Wise Guys crew on the Worldwide Sports Network. Remember, everybody going to follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_OH, also on Facebook, Wise Guys, and on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. Another day, another Wise Guys show with my co-host, Mr. Clarence Nixson. What's up, Clarence?
Man, how you doing today, man? Happy Monday to you, man. How was your weekend?
Oh, man, it was pretty good, man. I just kind of hung out, watched some TV around the house a little bit, kind of watched a few old movies. No sports action right now, so I got to get a little bit creative with my time, Clarence.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I just been working I just worked all weekend, just hung with the family, catch up on some sleep. That was the best thing for me on the weekend.
It's always good to catch up on some sleep, bro. But before we even get into our show, I want to send a special shout out to the Worldwide Sports Network, my man Earl Marks, man. We appreciate you letting us come on board. And me and Clarence, we're going to bring it each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. live. We're going to be discussing all the latest sports news around the world. And also, man, I was on social media today, Clarence. Before we get into our sports, we like our music and our hip hop. And I know it's going to be a battle on Instagram live right now. So we kind of competing with Jadakiss and Fabulous. They got a battle going on Instagram right now on who, they battling going at it with their different music, man. Real quick, before we get into our show, who better, Fab or Jadakiss? Who would you pick? It's tough, I know.
I think I'm rolling with Jadakiss right there, man, because he got heavy bars, man.
He do.
And Fab, he just a fly guy. He a fly guy that's dressed nice, but Jadakiss, he eats bars to bars. Like, yeah, Jadakiss is legit. I'm definitely Jada, man.
See, I think Fab got more hits, but I think Jada got more songs that can relate to the hood, man. It's a lot, man. But they both great rappers. It's heavyweights. That's a heavyweight battle. But we got a lot of topics we're gonna talk about on the sports side of things. We're gonna talk about Jamal Adams. Will he play week 1 for the Jets or another team? Also, CBS put out a top 10 quarterbacks list, Clarence, and Aaron Rodgers named one on it. I got a lot to say about that. Also, we're gonna talk about Vinsanity. And how do we view Vince Carter's legacy? But first, we got to start off in the National Football League. As last night, there were reports that came out, and we had breaking news that Cam Newton agreed to a 1-year deal with the Patriots, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN. So we know it's been a long wait and a long holdout for Cam Newton waiting to get a job and get an opportunity to play football, Clarence. The Panthers released Cam Newton in March. So my question for you is, as we start the show today, and we're going to start off with Cam Newton news. What was your initial reaction to seeing the Patriots bring in Cam Newton?
To me, I was very shocked, but I was so pumped for Cam Newton getting another opportunity to play in the NFL again. And when Bill Belichick they played the waiting game to bring on Cam Newton, it was a smart thing to do. And it can pan out well if he does everything that he wants them to do. But I'm happy for Cam Newton because he finally got the opportunity. He's been working his butt off for these past few months. He just been showing positive vibes, and that he still can play at the elite level. And now the New England Patriots, they're taking this risk on them. So I just feel like this is a low risk, high reward for them, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect term for it. Low risk, high reward for the Patriots. They got Cam Newton on a 1-year deal on an incentive-based contract, so he's going to be able to earn his money by different things that he can accomplish throughout the season. But first and foremost, the first thing I want to get out the way is there is no quarterback competition. I've been seeing people talk about it's a possibility that Stidham is going to be competing for the starting job with Cam Newton. Let me be clear. If Cam Newton is on your team and you bring him in, he is going to be the starter week 1 for the New England Patriots. Make no mistake about it, Clarence. Cam Newton will be the starter for the New England Patriots when they opened up the season. It is no more a competition. It never was one to begin with the quarterbacks that they had on the roster. They weren't very good. But now that Cam Newton's in the fold, Cam Newton is the clear-cut starter, and he will be the starter week 1. So let's get that out the way first. Now, number 2, when it comes to Cam Newton, I believe Cam Newton as a player, he has 2 things going for him. He's hungry to prove others wrong, and he's healthy as well. So because he's hungry and he's healthy, he is going to be motivated this season to play some great football for the New England Patriots. And also, Bill Belichick. You know, Bill Belichick, although he's been arguably the greatest coach of NFL history, a lot of people got questions as to whether or not Bill Belichick can win without the great Tom Brady. So this gives Bill Belichick an opportunity to prove that it was a system, not all Tom Brady. So I'm excited to see both of these 2 individuals, and Bill Belichick and Cam Newton, who both have a lot to prove. You could argue that Bill Belichick and Cam Newton are 2 people that have the most to prove in the NFL this upcoming season. So I'm excited that they're going to get a chance to team up in New England, and I think they're going to bring the best out of each other, and I'm excited to see it. And I also want to put the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Bills on notice because Cam Newton has arrived in New England. So we all thought that the Bills and the Dolphins and the Jets had an opportunity to win the AFC East, and Bill Belichick said, "Hey, hold my water. Here we go." I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too, but at the same time, I still think that Nuke Cam is probably won't have a bigger impact than what you're thinking. To me, I still feel like the Buffalo Bills, they're still at the head of the pack of winning the AFC North. Like Stephon Diggs solidified their most important need on the team, and bringing him on, it makes them a legitimate threat. They already got a good defense, and I'm gonna get to that Patriots team too, though. The Patriots defense is awesome, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong; they got one of the best DBs in the league. Like Stephon Gilmore, he's legit, man. He's the defensive player of the year. Like he's legit. I can't lie about that. But that's just on the defensive side. But the offensive side is where all the question is involved. Now you don't have enough talent at the receiving core, but you have enough talent in Cam Newton that he can lead the pack. And they drafted 2 other tight ends. His name was Matt. I can't pronounce his name. Asiana, some stuff like that, something like that. But they are a good future tight end. So I like how New England is going in the same way. But man, Trey, I still got Buffalo winning the AFC East, man.
Nah, the Patriots bringing in Cam Newton, it changed things for me, Clarence. And that blink of an eye, it changed things for me. I thought the Patriots were going to be one of those teams that would be like 7-9, 8-8. I think Cam Newton increases their wins by at least 3 games. So I thought they were going to be like 7-9. Now I think they can be a legitimate 10-6. They'll get into the playoffs. They might win the AFC. If they get into the playoffs and they got that great defense and you got a dual threat quarterback in Cam Newton, I believe it'll be a recipe for success, and Patriot Nation will be excited about the replacement that took over after Tom Brady and Cam Newton. I think if anybody can handle being the successor to Tom Brady, it's Cam Newton. We're talking about a 3-time Pro Bowl quarterback, 2015 NFL MVP. He had 35 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and that MVP season. In 2015, also, he was an Offensive Player of the Year. You know, obviously, when he came into the league making noise. In 2011, won Rookie of the Year, became the first player to throw for over 400 yards in his first game. Like, Cam Newton was literally the best player in that Carolina Panthers organization. And that's another thing I want to say, too, because I thought they kind of disrespected Cam, how they treated him towards the end of his tenure in Carolina. They released him in late March. And I was pissed off with the Panthers because I felt like they knew they didn't want to bring Cam Newton back. They didn't give Cam Newton a chance to explore him in free agency. What ended up happening was teams that went through the NFL draft, that went through NFL free agency, they had their quarterback for the future. So therefore, they didn't have to go through that process again. So by the time Cam Newton got released by the Panthers, he was already late arriving to NFL free agency. And the teams had already had their quarterbacks that they wanted. I didn't like the way the Carolina Panthers disrespected Cam. And they even had a Twitter poll question last week on their Twitter. And they asked the question, who's the best player in Carolina Panthers history? They had Luke Kuechly on there, Julius Peppers, and Steve Smith. They didn't even have Cam Newton as one of the candidates that was one of the best players in Panther history, Clarence. That's so disrespectful.
It's disrespectful though, Trey. It really is, because at the same time, Cam Newton took them to a Super Bowl since 2005 or 6, the last time the Carolina Panthers went to the Super Bowl.
2015.
Way before. Yeah, I'm saying before, when Cam Newton got there. He took them to a Super Bowl 4 years into the league. Like, that just tell you, like, yeah, this guy can really play at the level. And I'm gonna just say this. You know, his 58 rushing touchdowns, that's the most out of his rookie class. So he's definitely a legitimate dual threat. Now, my biggest concerns is like, do I think he can produce at the elite level? Yes, but here's the little caution thing. Their schedule is definitely a challenge, because if Cam Newton start week 1, their first challenge is right then and there. It's the Miami Dolphins, like an improved defense, a young team that's on the rise. Now I'm here. Look at this, Trey. They got 5 primetime games. 4 out of them 5 primetime games are playoff teams. So that's gonna be very interesting if Bill Belichick is gonna start Cam Newton or Jarrett Stidham. But for me, I'm aiming towards Cam, man. He's probably the best quarterback in that division right now, as we speak.
Easily, Cam Newton's the best quarterback in the division. Like you said, you stated the obvious. Like, it's like the sun is shining today. Like, that's the obvious. He's the best quarterback in the AFC East by far. Like, Josh Allen, he couldn't shine Cam Newton's shoes on his best day. But let me say this.
Hold on.
What?
Look, Josh Allen and Sam Darnold and Tua, them are amazing. Them are quarterbacks that's gonna be amazing for the future. But for Josh Allen, he still got the edge though. You know, 17 rushing touchdowns in 2 year span. That's second behind Lamar Jackson. That's impressive. I can't give you that. And one thing about Cam Newton, the biggest question for him is, can he throw over 30 yards? You know, he's been having the shoulder injury, the lymphedema injury. So that would be one of the biggest questions. Can Cam Newton throw over 30 yards? And, you know, New England, Belichick, he loved taking shots. So that's going to be the main target we're going to be watching, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I want to say this too, because I want to ask you about these Patriots offense. Do you believe the Patriots, offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick, do you believe they will have to change up their offensive scheme to fit Cam Newton's skill set? Do you think they're going to have to change things up?
Oh, yeah. No, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer that they is going to have to change up their scheme. Listen, they're so used to playing with a traditional quarterback, Brady, 20-plus years.
Yeah.
Now they bringing in a whole different type of quarterback, a dual-threat quarterback at that, a quarterback that can throw and run. So they're going to have to exchange some few plays. But, you know, in New England, anything goes for that system. If he can fit right into the system, hey, his true talent might show for itself. He might do things for himself that New England don't expect him to do. That's just the level of leadership and like talent and this competitiveness in Cam Newton. That's just as simple as that. I'm very excited for Cam Newton, but if I was Josh McDaniel, I'm putting a lot of read options in there, because at the same time, he's very effective in the read options. Very effective.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. They got to change the offense up, because the offense that was built around Tom Brady's skill set was, you know, you get the snap, throw it to your first read. No, they're going to have a lot of RPOs in this offense, a lot of run pass options. That's what Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick is going to have to do. And then they don't even have the skill set players, Clarence, to throw the ball around the yard. Like, they got Mohamed Sanu. He was a disappointment when they traded for him last year. They got N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry was inconsistent last year at the receiver spot.
Hey,
he's the future, but he was inconsistent last year. Julian Edelman was injury prone most of the season. And as nice as Julian Edelman is, I never believed that Julian Edelman could be a number one receiver. So I think this team is going to be built on the running game with Cam Newton and Sony Michel and James White. I think that's going to be the primary players that's going to get the bulk of the carries. They're not going to be a team like they were built in the past, throwing the ball with Tom Brady all over the yard. This is going to be a team that's going to run the football and play great defense, and that's going to propel them to have some success in the AFC East.
Old school football, huh?
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. But one more question before we move on. Who has more of the prove, Cam Newton or Bill Belichick this upcoming season? Who got more to prove?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question. You know what's funny? I've been thinking about that all day. Like, is this Bill Belichick moment to show that he's really the greatest coach of all time? Can Cam Newton come back and show these teams why he's really a legitimate starter? I had to weigh that, but I still think it's Bill Belichick because at the end of the day, before even Cam Newton even got signed, the schedule speaks for itself. 5 primetime games with a second-year quarterback and with his teaching abilities to like manipulate game plans, because they got a game plan every game against a team. Like this Dolphins team, they probably studying them right now. They gonna have a good game plan enough for them to win that game. I think if Belichick can succeed them in the coaching position, I think they will turn out fine. They won't probably be the best team in the AFC, but they'll be solid. I think it's Belichick, man. I think he got something to prove.
Do he got more to prove than Cam? Is the question.
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow, you're wrong. How the hell does he got more to prove than Cam Newton? When Bill Belichick, wait a minute, Bill Belichick is a 6-time Super Bowl champion head coach. Bill Belichick has a career record of 273 and 126, which means he's won, 68% of his games, Clarence, since he's been the head coach in the National Football League. Listen, hold on. He's arguably the greatest head coach of all time. The only questions that we have about Bill Belichick is to whether or not he can win without Tom Brady. When I look at Cam Newton.
Exactly.
Right, but Cam Newton, a lot of people don't even think he's a consistent quarterback. He hasn't even been productive since the 2018 season. And the 2018 season, I'll give him credit. Before his injury against the Pittsburgh Steelers and T.J. Watt, Cam Newton had 70% completion percentage, total yards per game, 283. He had a touchdown interception ratio at 22-7, passer rating 103, rushing yards 4. That was before his injury in the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers and T.J. Watt. He injured his shoulder. So he was balling out that season. With
he was getting blown out.
I say he was balling out. Can you listen? He was balling out that season. But other than that 2018 season, he's been inconsistent since his MVP season in 2015. I love Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton still has a lot to prove and still can play at a high level. But to say that Bill Belichick has more to prove than Cam Newton is ridiculous.
He does.
He does.
Now, look, it probably was his master plan to bring in Cam Newton like, hey, I don't need Brady to lead the pack no more. I did 20 years with this guy. If he can bring in Cam Newton and turn him back into a star, all the praise is going back to Belichick, man, because he's a great coach. He's a great coach. If a great coach can elevate these former NFL all-pro quarterbacks, then that's just brilliant.
Right. If he's a great coach, that means he's already proven. So my question, okay, let me ask you a question. If both of them never played, like Bill Belichick never coached another game and Cam Newton never played another snap, who's a for sure first ballot Hall of Famer? Is it Cam or is it Bill Belichick?
Yeah, it's definitely Belichick.
So Belichick doesn't have as much to prove as Cam Newton.
No, but yet he does though, because at the same time he was playing with Tom Brady, and you know the story. You know the story with him. Can he win with Brady? Win without Brady? Now this is a whole new year. Brady is on a new team. Now he's gambling by bringing in another former first-round pick. Now he's gambling on himself like, hey, we're still in the mix, which I still probably don't think that he is, but that's for another story. That's for another day. But he's definitely betting on himself like, hey, I'm still the top dog. But that is something we're going to be very interesting to be watching.
Everybody go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. We live here on the Worldwide Sports Network. All right, Clarence, let's move on to our next topic. Woo! Let's talk about Vinsanity hanging them up. So Vince Carter announces his retirement after 22 seasons. Vinsanity been in the NBA, Clarence, almost as long as me and you been alive. So Vinsanity finally is hanging them up after 22 years. So my question for you is, how will you remember Vince Carter?
Man, look, I got 3 memories from Vince Carter, and I just want to start from 3. I'm gonna start from number 3. I'm gonna just say like the dunk on the 7-footer in the Olympics game. That was crazy because I was just shocked, even though I wasn't I wasn't into the Olympics and stuff. But when I watched that tape, I watched it over and over and over again, to see the vertical he jumped over that 7-foot center, like literally over his head. That was ridiculous. Now my number 2. That crazy slam dunk contest. That just changed the whole NBA. Windmilling, honey dip. Like, that was something we started going crazy with. And now it's evolving in the NBA right now. And it's going burp. Now, my favorite memory. Trey, this is my favorite memory. When Vince Carter, in 2014, he hit a game winner 3 on the San Antonio Spurs to take the command lead of 2-1 in the series against the high seed Spurs. You remember that? You remember that when he hit that 3? The corner 3?
I remember that.
That was amazing. I'm like, wow. Because it was funny. I was watching that game, but I wasn't paying attention. But then when the Mavericks got the ball and he hit that, let's go hit that 3. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Like, he still got it. He still got it, man. Why is he playing on this type of team? Like Vince Carter, he will be surely missed. 22 years in the league, man. That's a long time. That's a big investment of being in the NBA, man.
It definitely was, man. And I will remember Vince Carter for being one of the most electrifying players in NBA history. And his athleticism was off the charts. I mean, whenever you went through the turnstiles and went to an NBA arena and Vince Carter was in town, he was going to put on the show for fans. He was box office, and you had to see it to believe it. Like, you had to see the athleticism and see it and be like, man, this guy is like off the charts. Like, he's doing things that humans aren't supposed to be able to do. It was amazing. He had an amazing career. He was an 8-time NBA All-Star. He won NBA Rookie of the Year in 1999. He has over 25,000 points scored. He averaged 17 points per game on his career. I also believe, though, a part of me felt like Vince Carter could have accomplished much more than he did, though, Clarence. Like, I think he was in his prime when he was with the Toronto Raptors. But once he got traded to the Nets, I kind of felt like his career wasn't the same. I think when he was in Toronto, I believe he was a clear-cut number 1 option for the Toronto Raptors, and I believe he was balling out for the Toronto Raptors, one of the greatest Toronto Raptors in NBA history. But I felt like once he left and left Toronto and went to New Jersey and then, went on to Dallas, he went on to Atlanta. He was obviously out of his prime then at that point. But overall, I felt like basically his career I kind of wanted more. I think he's a Hall of Famer. He scored over 25,000 points in his career, for crying out loud. But I also feel like I kind of wanted more out of Vince Carter. And I think he could have really, really elevated his career, had he been more consistent.
Yeah, like I truly believe that Vince Carter is a Hall of Famer, regardless of his accolades. 8-time NBA All-Star. Like you said, he scored over 25,000 points, and he's a gold medalist. He's a gold medalist for the Olympics. And for me, I just felt like Vince Carter helped change the culture of basketball in the 2000 era, like with the dunking abilities, the vertical, the leap.
Yeah.
That impacted the NBA well. Like you start seeing high flying players coming out the league, showing their athleticism, abilities to dunk, and they all even said like Vince Carter, like 2000 dunk, like that slam dunk contest in 2000, that was the most exciting game ever. And his style of play impacted the NBA well enough to keep flourishing into the league.
He did. And like I said, his athleticism was off the charts. But like I said, I kind of felt like I think Vince could have accomplished much more. Like he only averaged 17 points per game on his career. I kind of think Vince Carter was more of a 20 to 25 career points per game score. You know what I mean? Like I kind of think when I think about Vince Carter, I think, all right, I'm gonna give you a comparison. I think Melo is a first ballot for sure Hall of Famer, 10-time All-Star. Also, he scored over 25,000 points in his career. But I think Melo had a little bit of a better career than Vince Carter, like in my opinion. You agree or disagree?
See, here's the thing. Like Vince Carter made a finals appearance with the New Jersey Nets with Jason Kidd, Richard Jefferson. Like he was on that team. He was on that team to help contribute to that team. But unfortunately, They lost. They lost to a I want to say a Spurs team in 7. But the point is, I think Melo, yeah, he had like a better career than Vince Carter because he was more exciting. He was like a top scorer in the NBA. Like we're not gonna forget, like he's a big scorer, a big time scorer. Like the way he can score the ball is amazing. Like Melo is a legit scorer, but work ethic and leadership.
I can't say. I disagree with you about that, man. I think Melo get kind of a bad rap, but I think Melo had a better career overall than Vince Carter. But they both Hall of Fame players in their own right. But shout out to Vince Carter on a hell of a career to be able to play 22 seasons and be the ultimate pro. Like I think towards the tail end of his career, I think Vince Carter took on that challenge of teaching young players in the NBA how to be a pro. You know, he was playing with Atlanta in his last season. Imagine how much knowledge Trae Young got from just playing and being around Vince Carter every day. So I got to give Vince Kennedy some credit from that perspective. We never heard anything negative about Vince Carter. He was the ultimate pro, and he was a great professional, and I believe he deserves some MVP nods for his career overall.
Yeah, I definitely he's definitely a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer that basically committed basketball to his life. Now it's time for him to hang it up, but he will be remembered as a great Hall of Famer and a great NBA player. Yeah,
for sure. Let's go to New York and let's get back to the NFL.
Woo!
As Jamal Adams wants out of New York. Jamal Adams has demanded to be traded, and according to the New York Daily News, Adams has issue with head coach Adam Gase, and the lack of contract has also played a role. So my question for you is, Clarence, the first question here is, what's going on with Jamal Adams and Adam Gase?
Well, you seen the other day that Adam Gase, he wants Jamal Adams here. He his action, he's telling the media that he wants Jamal Adams to stay in New York, but his actions are not telling it. To me, I've been looking over the investigation ever since he been declaring that he wants a new contract. It hasn't been as much communicating with player coach, and he feel like that Adam Gase is just not backing him up. Like, hey, y'all need to make this deal happen. This is one of the best players on our team that needs to make it happen. Like, he just feel like Adam Gase is not backing him up on the business side of the NFL, and he feel like, hey, I'm one of the best players in the league. I should be damn well deserved to get a brand new contract. And we know Adam Gase, he have this one side, there's this nonchalant side that we don't know if he's serious or not. But it's just ridiculous. I always just thought their communication was just way off, and they never just came close to agreeing to something.
Yeah, I believe Jamal Adams, he doesn't want to play for Adam Gase, and I can't blame him. I told you before, Clarence, I don't believe in Adam Gase as a head coach. You know, he was in Miami. He had a losing record in Miami. I think he made it to the playoffs 1 year and 1 out of 3 years in Miami. He has a career record of 30-34. He's won 46% of his games, so he hasn't even won 50% of his games. I never believed in Adam Gase. I don't think he should have got the job to begin with in New York. Like I told you on last week's show, when he got the job in New York at his introductory press conference, he was high. He was literally high at that press conference. I don't think he deserved the job to begin with, and I think Jamal Adams is really, really starting to see the light, and he's starting to see that the New York Football Jets, they're not going to be relevant anytime soon, and they're not trying to do the necessary things to win football games. This is all about wanting to win. I think Jamal Adams wants to position himself to win football games and be in a playoff picture. That's not going to happen with Adam Gase as the head coach, and that's not going to happen with the New York Football Jets as an overall team. And I think Jamal Adams is basically understanding that now, being, at this moment. And I just think he's starting to really call out certain people. So I don't believe Adam Gase as a coach, and I also believe Jamal Adams doesn't believe him as well. So I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. If you had to pick to move on between Adam Gase and Jamal Adams, who would it be?
Is that even a serious question?
I mean,
seriously? Really?
Look, you got to think about it. you can always get another safety like that in the draft, or maybe free agency. It all depends how your scouts scout players. But for a coach, though, you will really have to sit down and really think about who is the right coach for your team. Do they fit the culture? Is his play style is legit? Is he even the right guy? God damn it! Did he pass all the requirements? But I'm gonna just say, but back to what we were saying. I think Jamal Adams has the more leverage on the Jets because his talent speaks for itself. He's a talented safety. He's one of the best safeties in the league. Like by far, probably one of the best safeties in the league. He's a good run box safety, and he's effective in the pass coverage. I believe that he deserves to be one of the highest paid safeties in the league because right now you solidify your best players, and you don't got to worry about that problem in a few years. That's just me personally. Like you just have to solidify your best player. If you don't solidify your best players, you won't get nothing out of them, Trey.
I agree with you. I'm gonna say this to answer your question whether or not I'm going to pick Jamal Adams, Adam Gase. Easy for me. I pick it Jamal Adams. I told you I don't believe Adam Gase overall. So if this was a different head coach like Mike Tomlin, maybe Sean Payton or Bill Belichick, that'd be a different answer. But I don't believe Adam Gase, so I'm going to pick Jamal Adams. Let me give you some of these statistical numbers since Jamal Adams been in the NFL in the ranks. He ranks amongst defensive backs, first in sacks, first in tackles for a loss, second in quarterback hits. He has 6 forced fumbles, which is second NFL ranked. He has a total of 272 tackles, which is fifth amongst NFL ranked. And that's the most by DB in the first 3 seasons since 1982. Listen, Jamal Adams is the real deal. I think he's arguably one of the best safeties, if not the best safety, in the National Football League. And I think the Jets, they're not showing Jamal Adams the appreciation that they should. Listen, I told you on last week's show, Jamal Adams probably has that mentality that, okay, we're not winning football games. Damn it, if we ain't going to win football games, I damn sure better get paid. You can't lose football games and also be underpaid. Pick a struggle. If I'm going to be underpaid, I need to be winning. And if I'm not going to win, trade me to a team where I can compete, even if I take a decrease in salary. I think that's Jamal Adams' position, and I understand completely where he's coming from as a player.
That's following us to our next question. Our next question on the list. But everybody, please follow Wise Guys on Facebook, on Wise Guys Instagram, These Guys Know Sports, and Twitter, Wise Guys _OH. The Wise Guys is now on the Worldwide Radio Sports Network, and we going live, baby. So, Trey, one last question. Do you believe Jamal Adams will be on that Jets roster week 1, or he's going to be with a different team in week 1?
I say he'll be with the Jets, unfortunately for him, because I think the Jets, because they know how great Jamal Adams is. So I believe he's going to play week 1 with the New York Jets, and I don't see him trading him so soon. I think it's going to take some time. I don't think he's going to finish his career with the New York Jets. I think at some point he'll get traded, maybe this year, maybe next year, because I think they got rights. I think they got rights to him for the next 3 years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So they can hold. They have the leverage. I disagree with you about him having the leverage. They have the leverage. They can hold this thing and let it just play out over the next 3 years. We'll see what happens, but I think he'll be on the team.
I can't believe it. We agreed. We finally agreed to something on the first show on the Worldwide Radio Network. Yes. We finally agreed to something. Yes, I honestly believe that he was going to be with the Jets week 1 because they building a nice foundation, regardless of the problems outside of the problems with the Jets. They have nice core players that you just don't want to waste the talent on. Like I can read you the list: Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell, Denzel Mims, Chris Herndon, that's the tight end, C.J. Mosley, Quinn Williams, Avery Williamson, and plus the O-line, the whole reconstructed O-line. And Jamal Adams, right then and there, they are already a top 15 defense with Jamal Adams and C.J. Mosley. It might be their top 15 defensive team right there, right then and there. I think he will be on the New York Jets come week 1. And Joe Douglas, they will come to a decision. Actually, probably by training camp that we're going to decide to make this young man the highest paid safety. I truly believe that, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he'll be there as well week 1. But let's transition to Indianapolis. As Indianapolis coach, linebacker Darius Leonard said, quote, "It was scary to hear that police could get involved during a dispute that led to him being kicked out of a Chipotle restaurant this week." He went on First Take and discussed this incident with Stephen A. and Max. He also was on Instagram Live talking about this situation. So my question for you is, Clarence, what do you make of this situation with Darius Leonard? What do you make of this incident?
I watched the video, and it just seemed like it would. I'm gonna be real honest with you. It just seemed like one big lie that was just made up from the manager because he stated that the manager had like a terrible attitude approaching them. Yeah. And when he was saying that the manager was stating that they was disrespecting a white man and harassing him, it didn't make sense because all they was doing is getting their food and going over there enjoying and just eating. He even described the people that was with them. There was 3 other black men and a mixed woman with them. So they all just having a good time eating, casually eating their food. And somehow the manager in some terrible pissy mood walks up to a middle linebacker, Darius Leonard, that plays for Indianapolis Colts, an NFL linebacker, and said, "Hey, we heard the incident that y'all disrespecting a white man. Now we ask y'all to leave or we gonna call the cops." They wanted to call the cops bad, but at the same time, it's confusing. Like, where all this come from? Like, yeah. Like it sounded racist to me, in my opinion, man.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense, and it's a shame, man. This stuff is ridiculous, and it's a shame because I was listening to Darius Leonard talk about the incident, and he talked about how the manager came over to them and literally told them they had to get out. Like, you can't be in here right now. And it's racial profiling at its finest. And it's unfortunate that we're still dealing with this in 2020. But I'm glad that Darius Leonard is being vocal about this situation because we got to start calling out some of these individuals that show racism. You know what I mean? Like, we're at a time now in 2020, it's not enough to say you're not a racist. You need to be anti-racism, period. Like, end of discussion. Like, I think I heard former Browns player said this last week. I can't think of who it was. A Browns player, and I posted it on the Wise Guys page, but we got so many topics that we talk about. I can't think of the Browns player that said that we at a time now where you have to be anti-racism. It's not enough to say I'm not a racist. Clearly, in this situation, this Chipotle manager was showing a form of racism, and it's unfortunate that Darius Leonard had to reveal himself. He had to explain who he was. He had to let him know, hey, I'm a linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm a public figure. It's a shame that he had to be in this circumstance and explain who he was. So if he having issues with racial profiling, imagine if people aren't public figures. You know what I mean? Like, people who are out here just living their everyday life, they have issues with people who are obviously racist. So it's a shame and it's unfortunate. And like I said, him being a public figure probably in this situation helped him get out of being in a situation that we don't know what the outcome could have been. Lord forbid, if he wasn't a linebacker in the NFL, this outcome could have been much differently had the police showed up. And if all for what? What happened was they went into the restaurant to sit down and have a dinner. That's all that happened. It's unfortunate, and it's really, really sad that we're still dealing with racial profiling in 2020.
Yeah, Darius Leonard speaking up saying that they're tired of it and they're pushing for change. I'm hoping that they're pushing for change as well because this is ridiculous. At Chipotle, like, honestly, one of my favorite places to eat at, and it's unfortunately that the manager had a terrible attitude.
Yeah,
coming towards them and telling them, "Hey, y'all, it was an incident. Y'all harassing a white man," and it just didn't make sense at all. But we're pushing for a change because Black lives does matter in the United States of America today. Black Lives Matter definitely matters, and we need to make a change for our society as well.
Definitely, man. Black lives definitely matter. But I want to say something real quick before we move on to this topic, Clarence. I think Chipotle is decent. It's average. You said it's one of your favorite restaurants. It's a little bit overrated to me. a little bit overrated, man.
Yeah, you want to believe it or not, I never had high heads, but I'm trying to try them this week. I'm gonna try them this week though. High heads.
It's all right, man. But Chipotle a little overrated. It's not bad. Chipotle is not bad. Let me be clear, but it's a little bit overrated. But like I said, it is unfortunate that we're still dealing with that in our country. Fortunately for Darius Leonard and his friends that he was with that particular day, Darius Leonard is a linebacker that plays in the National Football League. And again, I'm gonna say it: if he wasn't a public figure, this could have been a very, very bad outcome, and it could have ended much differently. Let's move on, and let's talk about J.R. Smith. As J.R. Smith is finalizing a deal with the Los Angeles Lakers, they're going to bring J.R. Smith in to replace Avery Bradley. So my question for you is, Clarence, does losing Avery Bradley affect the Lakers' chances of winning a championship?
Does it look? Let me think about it. No, not necessarily. Not really, because all the players in the Western Conference. All the players in the Western Conference are power forwards, and some big guards. But I think bringing on J.R. Smith is a game plan that they can like excel in with. He's a streaky shooter. He's effective on defense, and he's a ball handler. Just in case you want somebody to bring the ball up. Now I think bringing on J.R. Smith, it gives him a legitimate three-point shooter. But now J.R. Smith walking into a situation that, hey, this is a two-headed. We already have two stars that's trying to bring in another one, so we can exceed our expectations. I'm excited. I heard that I got the news that they're finalizing the deal. He's expected to be a Lakers by this upcoming weekend. So I'm very excited to see him in the Lakers uniform, reuniting with LeBron James. He knows how to play with LeBron. He's a streaky shooter. He knows LeBron's game. And honestly, when they're two on the court, they're fun to watch because he can throw alley-oops too. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. It's definitely exciting, Trey.
I get where you're coming from, but I think of losing Avery Bradley will affect the Lakers' chance of winning the NBA championship. You got to remember, before we had the NBA shutdown and the coronavirus pandemic started, one of the last games that was played was on a Sunday afternoon when the Lakers and Clippers played at Staples Center. And that was the only game that the Lakers actually beat the Clippers this year. Avery Bradley had 24 points, and I think he hit 8 3-point shots. He actually played tremendously well in that game. But for what the Lakers are going to lose, not having Avery Bradley has absolutely nothing to do with the offensive side of the ball. It's going to be defensively. Avery Bradley is one of the best perimeter defenders we have in the NBA, and I believe losing him will affect the Lakers defensively more than you even giving credit for. Like, I think you think JR is going to be able to step in and just replace Avery Bradley, and this is going to not be a drop-off. I completely disagree. I think it's going to be a drop-off, not major, but it'll be a drop-off because I think J.R. Smith, you would mention it, he's very tricky offensively, and if he's not hitting shots, sometimes he doesn't be as focused. I will admit the fact that he's teaming up with LeBron is going to help this situation because if it was anybody else, I don't think it would work out. But you remember we spent 5 seasons in Cleveland playing alongside LeBron, and I think LeBron James is going to bring the best out of J.R. Smith. If there's anybody that's going to bring the best out of J.R. Smith, it's going to be LeBron James. But I do believe them losing Avery Bradley is going to be a detriment to their championship hopes because defensively, you can't replace the impact that Avery Bradley had.
What impact did he majority have on that team, though, Trey? I'm going to just say this. Avery Bradley is a solid NBA player. But JR is the better option, man. He's the better option. I say he's effective on defense, which meaning he can guard, he can defend, but it's not effective enough to make a stop or whatever. But he gives them ability to be a streaky shooter, gives them another legit shooter, something that they also needed. They also need it because, Kyle Kuzma, in my opinion, hasn't been playing up to his height, and Caldwell Pope is a 3 type of guy, and I just believe J.R. Smith is another like 3-and-D type of guy. He's a streaky shooter. I think he's gonna help elevate their 3-point problems, man. I truly believe that.
How you believe he's gonna help them on hitting threes when you just mentioned he's inconsistent? If he's inconsistent, that means he's gonna be ineffective.
He's not inconsistent as you thinking, man. You gotta think about it. Think about it though. He's a good 3-point shooter. He's a better 3-point shooter than Avery Bradley, a better playmaker than Avery Bradley, a better ball handler. He just it's just a better offensive player than him. Defensive wise, yes, Bradley got him on the defense side, but don't count out J.R. Smith. He can play defense as well. It's a very effective, and I truly believe they're gonna be just fine when they're making that payoff run. And hey, he got more experience than Avery Bradley for sure. He has an NBA title that Bradley doesn't. He got the experience of being in the top moments, and when it matters, he has more experience. Yes, he's the better option than Avery Bradley.
I disagree with you completely. I think Avery Bradley is significantly better than J.R. Smith defensively, and because J.R. Smith is so inconsistent and such a streaky shooter, I think it's not even a major gap offensively like you're saying it is. Defensively, we know Avery Bradley's a better defender on the perimeter than J.R. Smith is, but offensively, I don't think J.R. Smith is significantly a better offensive player than Avery Bradley. I think J.R. Smith has had some explosive moments in his career, but J.R. Smith is very streaky, and I think Avery Bradley can hit some perimeter shots and give you at least equivalent, if not better, production overall. So we disagreed there. But let's move on and talk about something that really, really irked my nerves, Clarence. So we got to get to this. By the way, everybody go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. So, Clarence, we had the last 10 minutes of the show. So this is something that I had to talk about, man. So let me go ahead and position myself and get ready because I'm about to go in. I'm going to bring it to you first, but please, brother, leave me some time because I want to attack CBS Sports. CBS Sports, they put out a list to the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And I'm going to name them for you. Number 10, we got Big Ben. We got at 9, Tom Brady. 8, Carson Wentz. 7, Matthew Stafford. 6, Deshaun Watson. 5, Dak Prescott. 4, Drew Brees. 3, Russell Wilson. 2, Lamar Jackson. And number 1 is Patrick Mahomes, obviously. So, do you want me to go in on this first, Clarence, or you want to take this? Because I'm ready. I'm so ready to go in on this, bro. You want me to go? You got it first. What you want to do?
Let me start up a little bit, man. Just let me say this real quick. Aaron Rodgers is in the process right now that he's about to get replaced in a few years. And that's possibly been the biggest distraction in the Green Bay Packers organization. They're preparing a new quarterback to help him develop into a good prospect, good quarterback in the future. And for Aaron Rodgers, from his point, he still has some in the tank. That we know, but the Green Bay Packers are obviously moving into a different direction. So they probably feel like the Packers probably want to be the Green Bay Packers probably from last year or just period. But Aaron Rodgers being out there top 10, it made me kind of think. Like they put Matthew Stafford before Aaron Rodgers. So it might be meaning something. Detroit might have a good year, and Green Bay Packers might not have a good year themselves.
Stop it. You stop it. Ain't no Detroit Lions going to be better than my Packers. You need to stop. No, that's not going to happen.
He's a baller.
He can't stay healthy. He's
a baller. He plays through injuries. Sometimes the injuries get over him, but he's a tough competitor that he been in the Detroit Lions for over 10 plus years. Yeah, he can't stay healthy, but at the same time, he's a true competitor, man.
Let me be the first to say this. Let me say something real quick. I am so sick of these Aaron Rodgers haters acting like Aaron Rodgers is in some kind of decline. Clarence, let me give you some of these numbers real quick. In 2018, Aaron Rodgers threw for over 4,000 passing yards. He completed 62% of his passes. He had 25 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions. Last season, in a down year, he had 26 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions, had over 4,000 passing yards, 62 completion percentage. Oh, and by the way, he played in the NFC Championship game. These people that think that Aaron Rodgers, and CBS Sports included, these people that think that Aaron Rodgers is in some kind of decline, their football IQ should be in question, like considerably. Like what the hell? CBS Sports, they lost all their credibility with me, Clarence. I'm gonna name you the quarterbacks that Aaron Rodgers is better than right now on this list. Well, no, you know what? I'm gonna name you the quarterbacks that I think is better than Aaron Rodgers right now. It's only 3 of them.
Okay.
Well, actually, I say, okay, Patrick Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers right now. Lamar Jackson is better than Aaron Rodgers right now. Russell Wilson is better than Aaron Rodgers right now. Aaron Rodgers is better than Drew Brees right now. Okay, Deshaun Watson maybe is, but they count on the same level. And I'm talking about just in play. I think overall, Aaron Rodgers is still on the same level as Patrick Mahomes. If I'm being honest, I think he's on the same level. I'm talking about how they played last year. I think Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson are the only definitive players that played better than Aaron Rodgers, basically like last year. But I think Aaron is really better than Matthew Stafford. He's better than Carson Wentz. He's better than Tom Brady. He's better than Big Ben, and he's better than Dak Prescott. Tell me I'm wrong.
Listen,
am I wrong?
Listen, hold on. I just feel like this, that we haven't been seeing the old Aaron Rodgers in these last few years. Like I just feel like the old Aaron Rodgers was more electrifying, that was more into the game. From this Aaron Rodgers, you just been seeing that he just following orders and he just not showing any passion into the game. Now
he ain't showing passion in the game. What are you talking about?
I just feel like when I be watching Aaron Rodgers, like he just doing what his coach tell him to do. Even though coach gave him the okay to do an audible, he just want to win football game. I just feel like his swagger has been silent. It's been silent. It's been silent for these last 2 or 3 years because he father times might be coming up, or it just might be a time to switch to another organization and just move on.
That has nothing to do with it.
When Aaron Rodgers coach, they want their own team. They want their own staff.
Listen, Aaron Rodgers can still carry a football team to the playoffs and win Super Bowls. Okay, let me tell you some of these Aaron Rodgers numbers. 364 career touchdowns, just 84 interceptions on his career. That's nearly a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, Clarence. He has close to 47,000 pass yards on his career. He hasn't thrown double-digit interceptions since 2010 and only threw 11 interceptions that year. He is a 2-time NFL MVP. He's the most talented quarterback in NFL history. I know Patrick Mahomes is playing some outstanding football. It's coming off a Super Bowl MVP and Super Bowl victory. But before there was Patrick Mahomes, it was Aaron Rodgers. He is nowhere near as accomplished as Aaron Rodgers is. Okay? Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback in NFL history. And I'm tired of people like you disrespecting him. Here's what's happening. When Aaron Rodgers was putting up incredible numbers and he was winning NFL MVPs, guess what? My Packers wasn't getting to the Super Bowl. We weren't getting and having team success. It was just individual success with Aaron Rodgers. And now, because the Packers brought in Matt LaFleur, the offense is now based around Aaron Jones and running the football. So now we're forgetting how great Aaron Rodgers is. He's proven all he has to do now is win another Super Bowl. And if handing the ball off to Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams will help him win another Super Bowl to add to his resume, then that is what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. He's already proven that he is a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. So he doesn't have anything else left to prove but to win more Super Bowls. He only has to add to his legacy. That's all he got to do.
The Super Bowl window has been closed for a period long time, man. I just feel like this. Aaron Rodgers had his run. Yes, he had his amazing run. But what did he capitalize on that? Not one thing. Now, one thing I can remember what. Like, I'm gonna just say this. Aaron Rodgers, he brought in a Super Bowl that was 2008. That was in 2010. 2010. And two MVPs. So yes, that was impressive. But these last 3 years, we haven't been seeing the old Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, but look, this goes back to what Brandon Marshall said about the Packers organization not putting Aaron Rodgers in a position to win Super Bowls. Let me give you some of these playoff points the Packers defense has given up in Aaron Rodgers' career. 45, 37, 45, 28, 26, 23, 44, 37. That's the points defensively that the Packers have given up in Aaron Rodgers' career. And by the way, so everybody know on Worldwide Sports, I'm a Packers fan. Yeah, I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. Yeah, so I'm a little emotional about this. So if you can tell that my testosterone is a little bit high right now, it's because I'm a Packers fan. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan, but I'm tired of disrespect for my quarterback. But I just gave you the numbers that the Packers defense has given up in the playoffs in the Aaron Rodgers era. And you mean to tell me that Aaron Rodgers has had the necessary help to get back to the Super Bowl? He was putting up great statistical numbers in the early part of his career. He's proven he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now it's about winning Super Bowls and adding to his legacy. Unlike Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers didn't have the great defenses to lean on. He didn't have the great pieces on the defensive side of the ball. We'll get more into that on the next show.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say this before you can close out. Aaron Rodgers.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Oh man. Hey, remember everybody follow Wise Guys on Facebook, Wise Guys, and Instagram, These Guys Know Sports, and Twitter, Wise Guys OH.
Hey, real quick, Clarence. Great first show on the Worldwide Sports Network. Everybody, go and check out the show. We're going to be back on Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Again, talking all the latest in sports news. We're going to talk about Cam Newton a little bit more. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. But we got to get back into this Aaron Rodgers conversation, Clarence, because this is ongoing, definitely. And it really pisses me off. It really pisses me off, Clarence, and it gets me in an uproar because I don't like my quarterback being disrespected, man. I don't like it.
I don't like it either, man. But, hey, everybody remember watch on Wednesday, man, on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Everybody have a good night. See y'all.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.